It was a year ago this month that we brought the brother and father of WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange on this show. At the time, they were on a national tour to advocate for the release of Assange from the infamous Belmarsh prison in the UK, and they were calling on President Biden to drop the US's efforts to have him extradited to the United States to face trial, where he could face a 175-year prison sentence under the Espionage Act. They were backed by a coalition of over 24 leading press freedom and human rights organizations, including the ACLU, Amnesty International, and the Committee to Protect Journalists. So far, all their efforts have failed. But a critical decision is about to be made this week by the UK Home Secretary. In April, a British court formally approved the extradition of Assange to the US. The Chief Magistrate then referred the final decision to the UK Home Secretary, Priti Patel. She's been under increased pressure from civil rights and press freedom groups to block the extradition. A group of 300 doctors around the world have also petitioned the UK Home Secretary to block the move out of fear for Assange's health and safety. Patel has until the end of this week, 10 years since Assange was last free and walking around, to make the final call. And it's a difficult one for politicians. Julian Assange is no doubt one of the most polarizing and controversial figures around the world today. On the one hand, he gained international attention and even praise for publishing leaks provided by the US Army intelligence analyst Chelsea Manning, including the infamous collateral murder video, which showed US soldiers in Iraq firing at and killing a group of men, then laughing about some of the casualties, including 2 Reuters journalists. But Assange also leaked information that arguably upended our elections at home. Remember her emails? In the run-up to the 2016 presidential election, Assange orchestrated WikiLeaks' release of thousands of hacked emails from the account of Hillary Clinton and her campaign chairman, John Podesta. Special counsel Robert Mueller's 2019 report confirmed suspicions that the 2016 Trump campaign had contact with WikiLeaks about the emails being released, and that the hacked emails were transmitted from a Russian government proxy to WikiLeaks. Assange maintains Russia was not the source of the documents. And lest we forget, Assange was also under investigation for the rape and sexual assault of 2 women. Both charges were dropped in late 2019. That was the same year the DOJ under Donald Trump suddenly charged Assange with 17 counts of violating the Espionage Act of 1917. Now, no matter how you feel about Assange and the other allegations against him, it's important to remember this particular case related to espionage has become about more than just him. For many, it's about press freedom. Journalist and Pentagon Papers whistleblower Daniel Ellsberg has repeatedly defended Assange, saying it's in the interest of democracy and journalism to ensure his release. Both the Washington Post and the New York Times' editorial boards have warned that using the Espionage Act against Assange could easily be applied to journalists, and that the case represents a threat to freedom of expression and to the First Amendment. Joining me now to talk about the latest on his story is Julian Assange's brother, Gabriel Shipton. Thank you for coming back on the show. Gabriel, you and your father are back in D.C. this week to continue pushing against your brother's extradition to the US. What is the latest on his case? Are we just waiting to hear what the UK Home Secretary decides in the coming days? Is there any other factors in play?
Yeah, that's right, Mehdi. So, Priti Patel, the UK Home Secretary, is due to sign off on Julian's extradition any day now. We're expecting that on Friday. One other factor in play is there's been a change of government in Australia. The new Prime Minister in Australia, Anthony Albanese, has in the past voiced his support for Julian being released. He's said things like enough is enough, and he doesn't see the purpose of Julian being kept in prison. So that's another important factor, that there is actually a government in Australia who in the past has advocated, when they were in opposition, has advocated for Julian's release.
We'll come back to the Prime Minister in a moment. Just on the UK Home Secretary, if she approves extradition, what happens next? Are Assange's lawyers able to launch an appeal, or is this the end of the road? He will be coming to the US for trial.
Well, the legal avenues are running out for Julian. He does have an opportunity to appeal to the High Court, so he could apply to appeal to the High Court, but that's a High Court that has already ruled against him in this case. The Lord Chief Justice there ruled against him, so it's the avenues are getting less and less for Julian. And you have to remember that in the UK, press freedom, it's not enshrined in the Constitution. There's no First Amendment. Press freedoms in the UK are much tighter than they are in the US. So we can't expect the UK to be, sort of the leader of press freedom and protecting investigative journalism in this case.
And of course, the US claims to be a leader on press freedom, but yet press freedom groups, I should point this out again, this isn't about Assange anymore. A lot of press freedom groups are saying this is about press freedom across the board and the First Amendment and protection from prosecution for journalists doing their work. Last year, Gabriel, when you were on this show, you had said that you had not spoken to anyone in the Biden administration about all of this. Has that changed over the past 12 months? Has anyone in the DOJ reached out to you about this case? Or do you feel your efforts are still falling on deaf ears here in Washington, D.C.?
No, we're making progress here in D.C. This is our fourth trip out in the last year and a half. And every time we come, we're meeting with more people on the Hill. There are more Congress people who really, stand with those 25 organizations, the ACLU, Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch. You had Democrats at the end of last year, such as Ro Khanna coming out against this prosecution, Ilhan Omar tweeting as well. So we are making progress in terms of Congress people who are willing to stand on the principle, that this case means, what it means for press freedoms and the First Amendment.
Are you still hopeful that there's a chance to stop his extradition to the US and get him out of prison because he's an Australian citizen? You mentioned the new Australian Prime Minister. He's spoken out against your brother's incarceration. He's also signed the Bring Julian Assange Home campaign petition. Have you been in touch with the Australian Prime Minister's office about any of this?
No, we haven't, but he has made statements saying that foreign policy is not always done with a loud hailer. So that is a significant change in the direction of the Australian government, saying that this is now a foreign policy issue and indicating that there is some diplomacy happening behind closed doors. But we have faith. Julian is very popular in Australia. The last poll in one of the national papers, 71% of people polled agreed with the statement that Julian should be brought home. So really, Anthony Albanese, the Prime Minister, is representing his constituency when he's making these sorts of statements about diplomacy being used.
I mean, let's be blunt, Gabriel. He may be popular in Australia, but you know very well he's not very popular here, even amongst liberals and leftists, especially amongst liberals and Democrats, because of his antics or alleged antics during the 2016 election campaign, which has made your job and your father's job, I'm sure, much harder. There's a lot of politics surrounding all of this. Let me just move the politics to one side and ask one final question to you. How is your brother's health, his mental health, physical health? Last time on the show, your father said to me that he was deeply concerned that Julian could do serious harm to himself. How is he doing now, a year later? Have you spoken to him recently?
Yes, I have spoken to him recently. This whole process is just wearing him down over time. Last October, he had a mini stroke inside the prison. And this is all due to this sort of ongoing, endless snakes and ladders legal game. Remember, he isn't serving a sentence. He has been in a maximum security prison for over 3 years now, solely at the request of the US DOJ, who opposed his bail. So this ongoing process is taking its toll on his health, and we just hope we can get him out before it's too late.
We will see what happens. Gabriel Shipton, thank you for coming on the show and giving us an update. Appreciate it.